Hey guys, this is Haley from OneOnRabbits.com, and in today's video, I am going to be doing a pet update. Lincoln. Unfortunately, this little dude is being a nut job. But unfortunately, all of my pets are kind of going through medical things besides Sterling. Sterling's happy. He's overweight, but we've tried everything with the vet, and it's kind of how he is for right now, and the vet said, you know, we can't limit his hay, and obviously you can't completely get rid of all veggies, so it's just kind of how he is. We do blood work every year, make sure everything's okay, but yeah, all the other pets are kind of going through things, and I just couldn't sit down and make a normal video this week with all of this stress going on. And I know I'm not super into, I guess, sharing my life on this channel. I tend to make more educational content or room tours or things like that, and this week I just couldn't. So basically I am going to start with Ebony, since obviously this is a rabbit channel, but then I'm going to talk about Lincoln and Milo as well, which are my cats. Ebony is 9 years old. She turned 9 this summer. We don't know her birthday. I always celebrated it in May, but she could have been born in June or July. We really don't know. It's just one of those 3 months. And she has been on a liver medication for the past 1.5 years. And basically what happened was I noticed excessive drinking, which if you guys ever notice excessive drinking in your rabbits, it's not normal, especially if it happens like suddenly. Excessive drinking is never normal. So it took me like a month to figure out who it was, but finally I set up a camera. This was before I had a security camera. Now I have a security camera, which thankfully that helps me so much, but I set up a camera and I realized it was Ebony the one drinking, because at first I thought maybe it was Sterling. So I took Ebony to the vet and they had a checkup and ran blood work, and unfortunately it was not the news we wanted to hear. So this was actually right before I moved into this house. I got a phone call from the vet saying that her liver enzymes were through the roof, like crazy high. We thought she might have had liver torsion at first, which is, I think, pretty deadly. I know there is like a surgery, I think, to fix it, but you know, it's not a good thing to happen. So we were really nervous. We drove her down to Madison, which is our specialty vet in my state, and they did a abdominal ultrasound on her, which she had to be sedated for. And it came back showing that she did not, I believe it was an ultrasound. Now I'm forgetting, this was like 1.5 years ago. Basically the results showed she did not have liver torsion. So we placed her on a medication called silymarin, which is actually an extract of milk thistle, which is like a plant. But it's been shown to heal liver in rabbits. So I got silymarin from a compounding pharmacy, and they would send it to me once a month, and I would give her it twice a day. And she was on that medication for 1.5 years. And her liver enzymes, after about like 2 or 3 months on the medication, completely went back to normal, which was great. Originally, we were just gonna keep her on that medicine for life. But after 1.5 years of her liver enzymes, every 3 months we would do blood work. Every 3 months it came back completely normal. So my vet offered a suggestion that we could take her off the medication and see how her liver values hold up. So we trialed that a month ago. We took her off the medication, which was so much of a relief for me, because she would not take the medication willingly from me anymore. In the beginning, I was able to put like banana on the end, and she would like eat the banana piece, and I would shove the medicine in her mouth so I didn't have to pick her up. But she started to learn that whenever I came in the room in the morning and at night during feeding times, she would hide, because she knew like the medication must have tasted really bad or something. So she would start hiding. She wouldn't even take banana from me even if I didn't have medication on it. She was like avoiding it at all costs, and it was really like hard, because like she didn't really want to be around me anymore, because she knew that like I was associated with the medication. So that was really hard, but I knew that she loved Sterling, and she's not really a people rabbit anyways. She hates to be pet. She doesn't really like human interaction. So, you know, she was happy with Sterling, and that's what really mattered, and her liver was good. So we took her off the liver medication and reran blood work a month later, which was just last week. And her liver enzymes thankfully came back completely normal after being off the medication for a month. So I do believe that we'll probably have to run blood work again, either in another month or in another 3 months. I don't really know. I haven't asked my vet. My vet's been like on vacation, so it's kind of crazy. So yeah, then recently she's not been really eating veggies a ton, and she's been losing weight. So history on Ebony, she's the pickiest eater ever. When she was a single rabbit, she never ate veggies. She would nibble on them, but I would throw most of them away. She's just not a huge veggie eater. She's a huge hay eater. She loves her hay, which is great. But since she's been bonded with Sterling, she really enjoys stealing food out of his mouth. I don't know why. I think she's just a brat and likes to be a jerk. So I know it sounds bad, but like she literally hated kale before I bonded her with Sterling. Now the only reason she eats kale is because she steals it from his mouth. So I don't know why she all of a sudden started loving veggies when she bonded with Sterling, because she could eat it out of his mouth and she thought that was fun. But she still wasn't like a huge veggie eater. Sterling ate the majority of them. And basically recently the last week I've noticed her like, she'll kind of run around and get excited when I bring the veggies in, and then I set it down, and she'll run up to the plate, sniff it, and then like hop away. And you know, that could be typical for her. You know, she's been picky her entire life, but considering she's 9 years old, I do start to worry about dental issues, and it's really hard to know, honestly, if she's having dental issues. She's had some weight loss, but she's also old, so she could, like Lulu struggled maintaining weight at 9 years old too. So is it just from the old age, or is it because of teeth issues? So basically on June 14th, which is I think next Monday or Tuesday, I don't really know, she has a appointment with the doctor to have a dental. However, I guess I don't really know if we're gonna go through with the dental. I think I want my vet's opinion, just kind of explain everything to her and see what she thinks. The issue with rabbits is even if you do x-rays, even if you do an oral exam or feel around, you can never 100% sure rule out dental issues until you sedate a rabbit. X-rays cannot show it. I think potentially a CT scan can show all dental issues, but CT scans are like $400 or something. They're crazy expensive, so you'd never do that. And a rabbit has to be sedated for a CT scan or an x-ray anyways. So yeah, the only really way, like for sure way to know is to put her under. It's a thing that happens with all old rabbits. I had to go through this with Mocha. I had to go through this with Lulu. They all had dentals. Ebony's actually had a dental before too. And it's just always hard to decide, should we do it? Should we not? Because she's not showing excessive signs of teeth issues, but she's also at the right age and showing some symptoms. So it's just really hard to juggle. So that's been kind of stressful and on my mind. But to be honest, Ebony is doing fairly well. And depending on what this appointment shows on the 14th, we're either going to do the dental and then see if she starts eating better and gaining weight, or she's gonna do the dental and then, you know, she still isn't gaining weight. Basically, we won't know until the 14th what to do about her weight. If she does not gain weight, we probably will have to put her on pellets to maintain weight. As you guys know, I do not recommend pellets for healthy adult rabbits, but pellets can be used to help gain weight in elderly rabbits. With Lulu, she had extreme sensitivities to pellets. Like most rabbits have sensitivities to pellets, but Lulu's was fairly extreme. So we were avoiding pellets at all cost, and I was actually able to help her maintain weight for about 2 or 3 years on oats, which are just rolled oats. And my vet didn't really recommend it, but it did work for us. And definitely do not do it with your rabbit without a veterinarian's recommendation. I'm just stating what we did. Anyways, basically Ebony will not take oats. I've tried mashing them with bananas and stuff, and she's just, in order for her to be able to eat enough oats to maintain weight, I just don't think she's gonna do it because she doesn't like the taste of them. So I don't know, we're gonna have to see. I will keep you guys updated. I follow their Instagram below. I'll try to update you guys on there about what happens on the 14th and whether she has a dental or not, how she does with the dental. You know, there's always a risk of, you know, death in sedation, but there's also a risk of malnutrition if they can't eat because of their teeth. So it's just not a fun thing to go through, but I know a lot of rabbit owners go through it because a lot of rabbits have dental issues. So the next pet I'm going to talk about is Lincoln, and for those of you guys who don't know, he's my kitten that I got in October. He's the same age as my service dog that I will be getting soon. I'll talk about him in a little bit. Basically, when Lincoln was 6 months old, he started having diarrhea, and it's not the greatest, but I kind of thought, you know, maybe he'll just get over it. But then within a day of having diarrhea, this all happened over Christmas break, by the way, so I couldn't like take him to the vet immediately. And thankfully he wasn't like in critical condition, so everything was fine. But basically over Christmas, he started having diarrhea. And we were like, okay, that's weird. Maybe he had actually gotten into my friend's dog food because my friend was here. So I was like, oh, he probably just got sick from the dog food. So I thought it was gonna go away within 24 hours. The next day comes around and he stopped eating. Not completely, just like super picky, didn't want anything. So I was trying like a bunch of different foods and things like that. And you know, it just wasn't going away. So I called the vet, obviously. During like the pandemic and stuff, we have not been able to bring the cats into the vet all the time. They've been doing like some virtual vet stuff. Like they'll basically like, there's this app called Air Vet and they'll like call you on it and it's like a FaceTime vet appointment, I guess. So I don't remember if we took him into the vet or if we did like a FaceTime thing, don't remember. Basically we put him on probiotics, we put him on diarrhea medication, and I think we did anti-nausea meds too. I think he might've been vomiting as well. I think we also had him on a bland diet and it just kind of cleared up, you know, went away, and we're like, okay, that was good, whatever. A month later, it happened again. And we had to go back to the vet and we started doing more testing to make sure everything was fine. I think we did some blood work and stool samples and things like that. And we did the same medication again, the probiotics, the diarrhea meds, vomiting meds, all of that. Did it again, bland diet, he got better. Then it happened again. And at that point, my vet was like, okay, this isn't just like a one-time thing, because we thought it was his digestive system got knocked off by eating the dog food and then he just, you know, didn't recover. But by like the second or third time, we're like, okay, this is not normal. The vet decided that after all of the tests were coming back normal, that he potentially might have something called IBD, which is irritable bowel disease in cats. I think someone told me that it's like similar to like Crohn's in humans. So it's different than IBS. So IBS in humans is like annoying. I don't want to say that. There's some people who are really debilitated by IBS, but it's not just like, oh, random diarrhea, gas, things like that. It's like Crohn's, which is like a more serious thing where it's like attacking the digestive tract type thing. Anyways, I don't know a ton about it yet. This is all still very new. So she said a lot of the times IBD in cats is from food allergies. And I had previously thought about food allergies. So Lincoln had been on single protein diets his entire life. I tried turkey, duck, lamb, and beef. So Milo eats raw food, and that's what Lincoln was eating too. And they're all single protein, and that's actually, a lot of people with IBD do feed raw to their cats just fine. And I was trying that, I was trying probiotics, all that, and he was still reacting. And I was like, okay, this is, you know, obviously I'm not able to target this allergy. You know, it's not something that I know what it is. So we basically are putting him on, disclaimer, please do not give me any veterinarian advice in this video. Please do not give me any dietary advice in this video, or basically anything besides just support. If your cat has IBD, you are welcome to like say what's helped for you. But I've had a lot of cases where one of my pets gets sick and people are like, oh, do this, do that, and they really don't know what they're saying. And it tends to give me a lot of anxiety and panic attacks. I have pretty bad mental health, so I would appreciate support from this video. My vet is an amazing vet, and we also have a specialty vet, which is a research clinic that we're working with all of them. So I have the top veterinarians on this case, so I don't really need veterinarian advice. Okay, that was just a disclaimer. Okay, so anyways, we decided to put him on a allergy diet. And this diet is very strict because with Crohn's, even if you have cross-contamination, so even if the food was made in the same plant as another food, the cat could still react to it. Like, that's how severe this disease can be. So it's kind of like celiac, I guess, only not wheat. You have to be very careful with cross-contamination and everything. We are getting a specific food that is not in a plant with like any other things, and he is on a strict allergy diet. At first, it was more of a laid-back diet because at this time we had just brought up the idea that it could be IBD. So we put him on 3 different foods that were each allergy friendly, but not a specific allergy diet. And we just thought maybe he'll get better. And after a month, it happened again. So this is like the 4th episode by this point, and he's only 10 months old as of now. And this episode just started like 4 days ago. Not 4 days ago, 2 weeks ago. I don't know why I got 4 days. And kind of how his episodes start is he stops eating, then he gets diarrhea, and then if I can't get him to eat again, he'll sometimes vomit up bile. But thankfully, I have an appetite stimulant now that I can give him, and he hasn't been not eating, so that's great. Oh, he also gets really lethargic during these episodes as well, and he's a very, 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 very high energy cat. That's the reason I adopted him, is he was the craziest kitten in the entire shelter, and I wanted the craziest, so when he's lethargic, you can definitely tell. So yeah, this is the 4th time it's happened, and we've run all of the tests basically that my vet clinic has the capability of doing, and my vet basically called me, and we're putting him on probiotics again, which he's been on for about a week now, and well, more like 10 days. She also just called in a diarrhea medication that we're gonna start again. And this time we're putting him on an even stricter allergy diet. So instead of the 3 different foods, it's the one strictest allergy food, like the one that most cats will not react to if they have IBD. So he's gonna be on that diet for hopefully 2 to 3 months. And we're hoping that he will not have another episode while on this diet. If that happens, that's great. We'll kind of know that he has allergies and has IBD, and we just need to be really careful, not give him any treats. And I don't know if eventually you figure out what is the allergy. I haven't discussed that with the vet yet. We're just kind of focusing on now. But basically, if in the next 2 to 3 months, he continues to have episodes and he does not improve, or if he gets worse, we are going to have to go to Madison, which is the specialty vet, with all of the, specialists and everything. And we would see a specialist who would run a bunch of tests. One of the tests would be a bunch of imaging. I don't remember what type of imaging, but it would be imaging of his digestive tract. It would rule out like pancreatitis, which I guess in some cases this can have the same symptoms of that. And then if that didn't show anything, we would have to do an endoscopy, which he'd have to be sedated for, and a tube, I think, goes down their throat. And then we'd also have to do biopsies from his colon to rule out that he doesn't have cancer, or the biopsies would also definitively show if it's IBD. So basically the biopsies would show if it's IBD or cancer. The vet did tell me it's a very, very, very slim chance that he would have cancer, considering of how young he is, and all of his other tests. There's like other tests you can do to see if they're at higher risk for cancer, and he is not at high risk for it. So that's positive. We're very hopeful it's just IBD, even though IBD is not fun. At least it's not, cancer. But just hearing the word cancer and that, it is a possibility, or pancreatitis, it's just kind of scary, and I've definitely been stressed out. And it's hard because he's still acting normal when he's on his meds and he's eating good and he's not in one of his episodes. He's completely normal. That's why I don't think it's cancer. I feel like he'd be a lot more sick, but again, I don't know. And if your cat has ever had cancer, please do not comment the symptoms of it because that would really trigger me. We are definitely keeping a very close eye on him. So anyways, my vet really doesn't think that's what it is, but she did say, you know, these are some of the symptoms and we need to rule it out if he doesn't get better. So yeah, and it's just stressful because going to see a specialty vet and getting a biopsy and all of that stuff, if he ends up needing that in 2 to 3 months, my vet said it would be about $2,500 to $4,000, which I do not have. I am glad that she told me that because now I am saving. I think I'm just gonna have to go on a very, very strict, like, no spending for the next couple of months, which is hard because I have a lot of travel coming up. Yeah, I'm really nervous. I'm really hoping he doesn't need like $4,000 of tests. I'm really hoping this diet works and 2 to 3 months we figured it out and he's good. Or if he does need tests, hopefully he doesn't need all of them, so he wouldn't need like the $4,000 worth. Yeah, it's just hard to know. It's hard because a cat at 10 months should not be having this many issues. And I think some people are like, well, what's the big deal? He's a cat, figure it out. I don't think people realize the extent of his illness. Like if we do not treat him with probiotics and medication when he goes into these episodes, he starves himself. Like that's how bad it is. He's so sick that he like starves himself. It's not normal. I've just had some comments of people being like, oh, you're overreacting. Like it's not a big deal. And I'm like, it is a big deal. And if you don't agree it's a big deal, then go away. I don't want you. Okay, well that's Lincoln's update. I feel like this video is gonna be like 45 minutes long. So next update is on Milo. He's the bubbles, he was sleeping. So he's probably mad at me for picking him up. So this is the next boo-boos who's having an issue. I don't think I've ever publicly talked about this on my YouTube channel, but back in October, I think it was October, I don't remember. October is when he started the medicine, but it started before October. He started having episodes, I guess, but they're completely different than Lincoln's. He started frantically freaking out. Like, we'd be in bed, like trying to fall asleep, and he would jump off the bed, freaking out, flailing around, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, and he would like hit his face and like shake his head and like freak out, and I was like, what is going on? Like, are you okay? And the vet had told me when he was about a year old that he had gum disease. So because he was shaking his head, I was like, oh, maybe his teeth are bothering him. So we took him to the vet and did blood work to see if he could have a dental. And until his dental, we put him on gabapentin to help with any pain, because we thought he might have something, basically a disease in cats where the teeth attack itself and like dissolve the tooth from the inside out. It's really common in cats. Like my mom's cats have it, and when a cat has it, a lot of times they lose their teeth, and it can be really painful. So that's what we kind of thought it was, because it's super common in cats. My mom's cats had it, and it can cause them to like, you know, be in pain. So we were like, okay, we'll just do the dental, but put him on gabapentin for pain until we go in. So a month later, he was scheduled for his dental. We went in, did the dental, and they're like, he looks great. They're like, he has a little bit of gum disease, but that's genetic, and we've known that since he was a baby. And honestly, there really isn't much we can do. So we put him on a stronger, I think, gum disease medication, a mouthwash, and brushed his teeth, and we're like, maybe it'll just go away. It didn't go away. It kept happening, and I was really upset about it because it would be like a couple times a day he would just have spasms and just freak out over and over and over again for like 10 minutes straight, and I was like, what is going on? And I ended up filming it, and I sent it to my friend Victoria Rachel. She's here on YouTube, and we were like discussing it, and she was like, hold on a second, like I read something the other day about this really rare condition, let me send it to you. And she sent me something about feline hyperesthesia, which is a rare condition that they don't even really understand what it is yet. They believe it's either caused by anxiety, which Milo has had pica, and wool sucking, which are both anxiety symptoms since he was a baby. Some people believe it's caused by psychomotor seizures. However, Milo has never shown symptoms of seizures, thankfully. He's always been very conscious and been fine when these episodes happen. But she sent me the name of the thing, and I looked it up. I looked up videos of these cats who had feline hyperesthesia, and they were having the same thing Milo was having. Basically, I'll put it up on the screen. Their back of, and it's hard to notice because like I didn't notice his back was doing anything when this happened, but his back would like nonstop twitch, and he would fling around and start like biting it, licking it, and like freaking out, and then he would run away, and then he would shake his face, and then he would itch it again, and stuff like that. And apparently it causes the nerves on the base of their tail, so on the back by the base of their tail, to become very irritated. And a lot of cats, if they have severe feline hyperesthesia, which Milo doesn't, they'll sometimes self-mutilate themselves, which like they will try to stop the nerves from being painful. They'll actually like try to bite their back off, like they've chomped holes in themselves. Like I've seen pictures, it's bad. So Milo didn't have it that bad, thankfully, but we realized the gabapentin that we had put him on before the dental, his episodes went away. And I was like, oh, that's weird. So I brought it up to my vet, and I said, I think he might have something called feline hyperesthesia. Gabapentin is a treatment for it, and I noticed his symptoms were a lot less when he was on the gabapentin. Could we start it back up? So she said yes, and we started it back up, and his episodes were fairly mild. Like they kind of went away, and he was on that medication from October all the way, I mean, he's still on it, all the way till now. In the last month, I think that the medication just isn't working as well, or potentially his symptoms are getting worse. I don't really know which. But the first thing I noticed is he started hissing a lot at Lincoln, which is really odd because they have a great relationship. They snuggle, they chase each other, they wrestle, they love each other. So for him to start hissing, like he's never done that in his entire life. I looked it up, and it's actually aggression or hissing is actually a really common symptom of feline hyperesthesia. People don't really know for sure if it's because they're anxious or if it's because their nerves are bothering them, so they're more grumpy. There isn't a ton of research into this condition. So basically the hissing is still going on, and we raised his gabapentin, and it's still happening. It's basically when his gabapentin wears off. For some reason, even though I'm giving the gabapentin 3 times a day, it's still not staying in his body. So for like 2 hours after I give him the dose, he still is symptomatic and hissing and stuff. But then it goes away until the dose wears off, and then it happens again. So it's just, this medication is so short-term acting, it doesn't like stay in the body very well. So whenever it was wearing off, it was just not really working. So I called the vet basically the same time we were discussing Lincoln, and we decided to put him on Prozac, which is an SSRI. Actually, a lot of humans take Prozac for anxiety or depression, and it's safe in cats in small doses, obviously. So it's being shipped in the mail currently because it has to come from a compounding pharmacy. So Milo is going to be on Prozac. It takes about a month to take effect, so we won't really know for a month. But it's just really hard to see Milo like so upset because I know he's not an angry cat. So to see him like hissing and getting upset when Lincoln's like by him is just not normal, and it just makes me really sad. And then when he has his episodes, I just know he's in pain because the nerves get really irritated, and there's not much I can really do for him. So I actually, I also use Feel Away in my house, which is a cat pheromone that helps ease anxiety. Haven't really noticed a difference, but I have more that just came in the mail today that I'm gonna use. I actually need to go get it out of my mailbox. Hopefully it doesn't like explode. It's like 90 degrees out. And then I ordered a thunder shirt for him, which some cats with feline hyperesthesia can get used to thunder shirts, and they actually help because it's tight on their back. It helps calm those nerves down on their back. But he hates like harnesses, and well, he's fine with like the thin harnesses, but anything that like covers his body, he kind of just sits there and doesn't move. So I don't know how well it's gonna work with him. They say you put it on for like really short periods of time, and then you take it off, and then you try to make it a very positive experience and see if they, if it works. But if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It was a non-medication thing that I could try, so I figured why not try it. If the antidepressant doesn't work, we'll either try another antidepressant, or I've considered trying CBD oil, but CBD oil tends to only work in really mild cases, and his case is more moderate now, not really mild, so I don't know how much it would really help at this point. But yeah, that's an update on Milo. Basically, he's not dying or anything. None of my pets are dying, but it's just sad. And it's all happening at once, and that's what's stressing me out. So, I don't know. So last but not least, we are gonna give an update on Luca. For those of you guys don't know, I am getting a service dog. I'm flying out July 14th to finish my final training and then bringing him home. He will not be a fully trained service dog. He's only 1 year old. He has another year or so left of training, but we will be doing it virtually through like Skype, Zoom, with my trainer. And if anything comes up that I need more help with, I can always fly out there and do a training session in person for a couple days. But yeah, that's Luca. He's going to be trained to assist me with my disabilities, which I know if you guys don't know what I have, you can look at the link in the iCard. I have a video where I kind of go through my disabilities. Otherwise, you can check out my personal channel. I talk a little bit more about my disabilities there. But yeah, he'll be trained to assist me with my medical conditions, and he's the cutest dang dog you've ever seen, and he's gonna be spoiled rotten. So I'm so excited. He's completely healthy, nothing to worry about. He's going in for his first joint scan on like June 17th or something, I don't remember. Basically just to make sure his joints are all healthy and everything. That's just something you do with working dogs. You know, he's perfectly healthy. There's nothing wrong with him, thankfully. But I thought I'd give you an update on him. He's doing great. He's working a lot on scent training right now. He's being trained to smell my heart rate, I guess you could say. So he can smell when my heart rate changes and alert me to it. So that's what they're really working on right now. He's doing a lot better with it. He only started scent training at like 6 months, so he's only been doing it for 6 months. So he's still very new to it, but he is doing super great with it, and I'm sure within 6 months from now, he's gonna be even more incredible. And it'll be a lot easier once he's home with me because my trainer doesn't have a cardiac condition like I do. So she has to use scent samples that I gave her of my scent, and they're like frozen in the freezer. So once Luca's home with me and like my body is naturally creating that scent, it'll be a lot easier for him, I think. Like he'll have a lot more opportunities to smell it, I guess, which is weird. So yeah, anyways, he's doing great. He's the best dog ever. I went out and visited him in May. I completely fell in love, and I honestly feel like July 14th is so far away. Even though I know it's not, it's like almost a month. It's a little over a month away. I know it'll be here before I know it, and I have a bunch of dog stuff that I am buying and stocking up. I'm actually going to be doing a service dog haul showing everything that I bought for Luca. So if you guys want to see that, go over to my personal channel. I don't know if it'll be up yet by the time this video goes up, but I'm hopefully filming it today, so it should be in the works. But definitely go subscribe to my personal channel if you want to see that. I just decided not to do it on this channel because it's more of a rabbit channel, even though I did update you on the cats today for like 30 minutes, but yeah. But yeah, that's an update on all my pets. Sterling's great, Luca's great, Ebony's good, but you know, she's got a couple dentals maybe in her future. Lincoln, I have no idea what's wrong with him, and he's the one I'm most concerned about. Milo, I'm just, I said his name and he like flicked his tail. I'm concerned about Milo because he just doesn't seem happy with, you know, the pain and the conditions. So yeah, anyways, that's an update I thought I would give you. I don't know why I end up with pets that have rare conditions. I mean, obviously Ebony's isn't rare, she's just old, that's why she has that. Older rabbits tend to get liver issues or teeth issues, like that's just common in 9-year-old rabbits. But my cats are fairly young, so these are pretty rare conditions to happen in young cats. So yeah, it's stressful, but thank you everyone for supporting me, and definitely fill the comments with support and love for the kitties and Ebony. And again, please no medical advice or anything like that. If anyone is rude or anything, it'll be deleted or blocked. So I just, you know, my mental health can only handle focusing on the pets. And if people are not supportive, I just can't deal with that right now. So yeah, anyways, that's basically it. I'm probably gonna wake him up again, but thank you guys for watching. Milo's a sleepy boy, and we are gonna go. You have goopers in your eye. You got goopers in your eye. You wanna say hi to everyone? He's like, I was sleeping. He's like, let me go to sleep. There you go. I'm sorry, boo-boos. You can go back to sleep. Okay, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed this rambly update, and I will see you guys very soon on a new video. Bye!